Have you ever wondered about the factors that can lead a country into an economic crisis? Let's delve into the ongoing economic conundrum in Pakistan, a situation that has been escalating since 2022. It's an economic storm, fed by various factors, each fueling its intensity. The relentless rise in inflation, similar to a gusty wind, is chipping away at the public's purchasing power. As a matter of fact, the annual inflation rate in Pakistan increased to 9.7% in February 2022, making everyday goods and services more expensive. The value of the Pakistani rupee, comparable to a sinking ship, is plummeting, with the currency depreciating by 30% against the dollar in the last year alone, making imports costlier and exports less profitable. The country's foreign reserves, ideally a safety net, are dwindling, standing at approximately $17 billion as of March 2022, leaving an extremely narrow window for economic maneuvering. It's a vicious cycle, with each factor feeding off the other, deepening the crisis. As Pakistan grapples with these escalating problems, the debt continues to pile up, leading to an unsustainable economic burden. Imagine owing more than you earn. This is the stark reality for Pakistan, with a debt that has surged to a staggering $112 billion as of the end of 2022. Envision a snowball rolling down a hill, gathering more and more snow as it descends. This is a fitting depiction of the country's debt situation since 2022. The snowball of debt grows. The weight of the consequences intensifies. The nation's economic growth has been severely stunted, with the GDP growth rate falling to a mere 0.4% in 2022, far below the expected 3.3%. The debt burden casts a long and ominous shadow over the future of Pakistan. This colossal debt, like a formidable ball and chain, has shackled the nation, slowing its progress and heightening poverty levels to a devastating 21.9%. The debt crisis has not only impacted Pakistan's internal affairs, but it has also sent shockwaves across the international financial landscape. The International Monetary Fund and Moody's, esteemed global organizations that monitor economic health, have downgraded Pakistan's credit ratings to B3, a level indicating significant credit risk. These downgrades are comparable to glaring red flag, cautioning investors about Pakistan's deteriorating financial health and its ability to repay its debts. The rising national debt has created a domino effect, pushing the economy closer to the brink of collapse with each passing day. The escalating inflation at 8.2%, declining currency value, and low foreign reserves of approximately $13 billion have only intensified the situation, propelling the economy into a downward spiral. This debt crisis has not only hampered the country's financial status, but has also deeply affected the lives of its citizens. With inflation soaring, the cost of living has skyrocketed, making it increasingly challenging for the average Pakistani to make ends meet. This has resulted in a surge in poverty levels, painting a grim picture of the country's economic landscape. In essence, the mounting debt has become a millstone around Pakistan's neck, pulling it deeper into the abyss of economic instability. As the debt continues to surge, the country faces the dire threat of potential defaults. The road to recovery seems long and arduous, but it's a journey that the nation must embark upon to reclaim its economic stability. However, it's important to note that debt isn't the sole issue. The country's situation has been further compounded by political discord and a series of natural calamities. As Pakistan's debt predicament amplified, political instability followed suit, shaking the country's foundations. There was a growing dissatisfaction with economic policies, which led to an inflation rate of around 7%, and the value of the country's currency plummeted by almost 20%. This ignited a turbulent wave of protests and demonstrations. This political instability further deepened the economic crisis, as investor confidence dipped, leading to the country's credit ratings being downgraded by international organizations like Moody's and S&P. In the midst of this political strife, Pakistan was struck by a series of catastrophic natural disasters. The country experienced floods, which were particularly detrimental to the economy. Torrential rains inundated the country, causing widespread damage to homes, infrastructure, and most importantly, agricultural land. Pakistan, being an agrarian economy with about 24% of its GDP and half its employed labor force coming from agriculture, was severely affected. These floods caused an estimated damage of $1.3 billion and further hampered Pakistan's economy. The rebuilding expenses and loss of led to a surge in food prices by 15%, exacerbating the already high inflation and increasing poverty levels. These political and natural disturbances created a self-perpetuating cycle, with the political unrest deterring investment, causing the economy to strain further, while the natural disasters necessitated increased spending on recovery efforts, adding to the country's debt burden. Amid the political turmoil and the aftermath of the natural disasters, the nation's economy spiraled downwards. The economic crisis intensified and the country found itself in a precarious position, with a soaring inflation rate, a declining currency value, and a rising debt that seemed insurmountable, with the national debt growing by an estimated 40%. Amid such adversity, it's crucial to remember that the government was not idle. In the face of these challenges, the government has taken several measures to stabilize the economy. Banning luxury imports, hiking fuel prices, and the pursuit of external loans, these are a few of the steps taken by the government in an effort to steady an unstable economy. With the aim of reviving this economy, the government has introduced a comprehensive economic revival plan. This plan is not merely a band-aid fix. It's a meticulously constructed blueprint that zeroes in on key sectors for investment, such as agriculture, manufacturing, and technological innovation. The economic revival plan sets out to stimulate growth and create employment through several strategic initiatives. For instance, in agriculture, it proposes to increase funding for advanced farming technologies and mechanization to increase yield. Within manufacturing, the plan seeks to incentivize local production by offering tax breaks and subsidies to manufacturers. As for technology, the plan envisions the establishment of tech parks, foster innovation, and support tech startups. By channeling investment into these sectors, the government aims to augment productivity, increase exports, and create a sustainable source of revenue. As crucial as these domestic efforts are, it's vital also to recognize the foreign support that's keeping the nation afloat. China, in particular, has been a critical ally, providing both financial assistance and infrastructural development support to Pakistan in these challenging times. However, the journey to economic stability and growth, a marathon, not a sprint, and it's not without its hurdles. Raising fuel prices while generating revenue can also contribute to inflationary pressures, thus causing economic hardship for everyday citizens. Seeking loans while offering immediate relief also adds to the country's already significant debt burden. In addition to these economic challenges, there are also political and environmental factors to consider. Political instability can drive away potential foreign investors and hinder economic growth. Natural calamities, on the other hand, can erase years of painstaking progress in an instant. Despite these measures, the road to economic recovery remains steep and riddled with obstacles. As Pakistan navigates this treacherous path, it will need all the resilience, resourcefulness, and resolve it can summon. The journey ahead is challenging, but with an astute strategy, a focus on key sectors, and robust international support, there's a glimmer of hope for a brighter economic future. So, what do we see when we gaze upon the economic crisis in Pakistan? We witness a nation caught in the grip of an alarming 8.1% inflation rate, a depreciating currency that has declined by 24% against the dollar, and dwindling foreign reserves that now stand at a critical low of $7 billion. A debilitating debt burden that has ballooned over the years, now reaching an unprecedented $113 billion, creating an unsustainable situation. We've monitored the fallout of political unrest and natural disasters, such as floods, which have compounded economic challenges. Not to mention an economy that has shrunk by 0.4% over the last fiscal year. The government has not been idle though. Measures such as banning luxury imports, hiking fuel prices by 10%, and seeking loans amounting to $6 billion from the IMF have been implemented in a bid to stabilize the economy. But the inflation dragon has soared to record heights, prompting concerns about escalating poverty levels, which now affect 24.3% of the population, thereby stunting economic growth. International organizations like the International Monetary Fund and Moody's have raised red flags, downgrading Pakistan's credit ratings to B3, warning of potential defaults. In response, the government has unfurled an economic revival plan, focused on key sectors for investment, as the nation trudges a rocky path towards economic stability and growth. The saga of Pakistan's economy serves as a stark reminder of the challenges a nation can face and the resilience required to navigate through them.